Although the first Mega Man Legacy Collection initially released a little under 3 years ago and Mega Man Legacy Collection 2 has been out for just under a year, neither collection has been playable on a Nintendo home console. Until now. While the original Legacy Collection did eventually release on the Nintendo 3DS with a few new features, the Wii U was passed over entirely for obvious reasons, and Capcom's understandable hesitation to support the Switch out of the gate left Nintendo fans feeling cold when Legacy Collection 2 was announced for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC via Steam, but not the Nintendo Switch. But what's past is prologue. Now that Capcom has had a chance to react to the Nintendo Switch's unprecedented market success, both Mega Man Legacy Collections are finally arriving where many Blue Bomber fans feel he belongs most given the franchise's history, Nintendo's latest and potentially greatest home console. Now, because I already reviewed both of these collections on the PS4 back when they initially launched, I won't be covering their included games and features in detail here. This updated review will instead focus specifically on the experience of playing these collections on the Switch, because the collections themselves are mostly unchanged from prior releases, with a few notable exceptions which I'll be sure to highlight. But if you're seeking a comprehensive, in-depth review of each collection, you can find links to both of my original reviews in the video description below. Let's start with the original Legacy Collection, which includes Mega Man's first 6 adventures and a smattering of new features complementing them. Among those features are the usual screen size and filter options, a challenge mode mashing together bosses and parts of stages from Mega Man 1 through 6, online leaderboards with replay support for each one of those challenges, Mega Man Amiibo support adding even more challenges, character and enemy databases for each game that allow you to practice any Robot Master fight to your heart's content, a music player including nearly every unforgettable tune from all 6 games, and a museum for each game featuring loads of behind-the-scenes production materials, box art, development sketches, and more. In fact, the Nintendo 3DS and now Switch versions add over 100 extra images to these museums, and everything is scanned in at a high enough resolution that it all looks great whether you're browsing the assets in TV mode or on the Switch's own screen. And speaking of that screen, one of the unexpected virtues of playing Legacy Collection on Switch is just how great each game's optional border looks when playing in handheld mode. So if you're the kind of gamer who likes to play classic compilations with border art, you're in for a real treat when playing Legacy Collection on the go. The Switch version of Legacy Collection also includes the Version Select feature added in the 3DS port, letting you select between the game's Western and Japanese versions. All 6 games support this feature as well, so if you want to start your gaming session with the Western Mega Man 2 and then switch over to the Japanese Rockman 5, well, you can do that. Speaking of Rockman 5, there was a nasty bug in the 3DS version of Legacy Collection that basically made the Western version of Mega Man 5 unplayable, forcing players to switch to the Japanese Rockman 5 if they wanted to play the game at all. Fortunately, that bug has been fixed for the Switch port, so whichever version of 5 you want to play, you're good to go. Finally, the Switch version of Legacy Collection has added an all-new rewind feature, much like the one seen in fellow Digital Eclipse release, the Disney Afternoon Collection. This allows you to rewind the last minute or so of gameplay at the touch of a button and undo missed jumps or other life-losing mistakes, so you can try them again until you get it right. All 6 games support this feature, and its use is basically unrestricted, making it a well-considered addition for series newcomers who may find the going too tough even with save state abuse. And if you're playing Legacy Collection on a platform other than the Switch, don't worry, the rewind feature is being added to existing versions via a free patch. Between the brand new rewind ability, squash bugs, and additions from other ports like the Version Select feature and extra museum content, Legacy Collection on Switch is easily the most polished, fully featured version of the game yet. So while I liked it a lot back on PS4, Digital Eclipse has added enough shine, polish, and additional value to the package for the Switch version that I have to say I love it now. So how does Mega Man Legacy Collection 2 fare on the Switch then? Well, much like the first Legacy Collection, it's mostly the same as it was when it was released on non-Nintendo platforms, with the additional and obvious benefit of having high-quality ports of Mega Man 7, 8, 9, and 10 available on the go. And honestly, that's kind of the long and short of it. Unlike the original Legacy Collection, the Switch version of Legacy Collection 2 is almost completely unchanged from last year's initial release, but neither have any new problems been introduced. In my original PS4 review, I hailed Legacy Collection 2 as a strong representation of Mega Man's latter 4 adventures, and that's still true on the Switch whether you're playing in TV or handheld mode. And even though that should go without saying, the fact that Mega Man 8, 9, and 10 have never been playable in a handheld format before makes the quality of these ports especially exciting this time around. What's also still true is the fact that Legacy Collection 2's extra features feel a little more sparse and half-baked than Digital Eclipse's offerings in the first collection. In some cases, this is understandable. For example, the cross-generational, cross-platform nature of the games in Legacy Collection 2 means that it makes sense the challenges are all confined to their own games in this collection. but the challenges themselves still feel more haphazardly thrown together, and while the music player delivers the expected goods, the museums and databases for Legacy Collection 2's games contain less content and feel less inspired than their Legacy Collection 1 counterparts. Save state support is also still missing, replaced by a far less useful checkpoint-based save system. On the upside, each game has 4 borders to choose from in Legacy Collection 2, and as expected, they all really pop on the Switch's screen. Likewise, Legacy Collection 2's challenges all enjoy the same well-considered leaderboard and replay functionality seen in the first collection, and the extra armor option, which cuts the damage Mega Man takes by half across all 4 games, is wonderful for newbies. The Switch version of Legacy Collection 2 does contain one brand new addition though, Mega Man Amiibo support. Unfortunately, all the Amiibo does is add a small handful of new challenges for all 4 games, and there's nothing particularly special about them, so this addition ultimately comes off as feeling rather minor. Still, as insignificant as this new content is, I can appreciate that there's at least something new here for Nintendo fans. Ultimately, all of this amounts to a collection I said I liked a lot when I reviewed it on PS4 last year, and that remains true now. I still like Mega Man Legacy Collection 2 a lot, as it still features rock-solid ports of 4 Mega Man games that, unlike the first collection's Mega Man 1 through 6, have not been widely available outside of their initial release platforms until now. At the same time, nothing new of significance has been added for the Switch version, and Legacy Collection 2's extra content remains feeling undercooked, so my overall feelings about it have not changed. Enduring long waits is nothing new to Mega Man fans, but I'm happy to say the wait for Mega Man Legacy Collection 1 and 2 to arrive on the Nintendo Switch has been 100% worth it. I've played through the 10 games represented in these collections more times than I can count, and they all sound and look entirely as I've come to expect both in TV and handheld mode. And while the Switch Pro Controller or another D-pad equipped option will naturally provide the best possible controls and thus gameplay experience, playing any of these 10 games with the Joy-Con's analog stick has proven to be a perfectly workable, if imperfect, solution. Unsurprisingly, having convenient access to all 10 mainline Mega Man Classic games both at home and on the go has turned out to be every bit as great in practice as it was in theory. And with a brand new Mega Man game on the horizon at long last in the upcoming Mega Man 11, there's never been a better time or format to go back and re-experience, or experience for the first time, one of 2D platforming's most iconic characters and franchises. Hey, thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this review, please hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and follow us on social media using the links in the video description below. Otherwise, keep it on GameXplain for more on Mega Man, the Nintendo Switch, and all things gaming.